premier modern corporate building, and you will notice a specific kind of physical perfection. The temperature is regulated, the glass facades maximize energy efficiency, and the layout complies with every physical accessibility code on the books. But underneath that polished surface lies a hostile sensory landscape. The constant hum of an HVAC system, the glare of overhead lighting, and chaotic textures create an invisible web of stressors assaulting the nervous system. Curious, engaging. This is a population distribution chart showing that roughly 15 to 20% of the global population is neurodivergent. This means their brains process information, including sensory inputs, differently than typical brains. For this population, which includes individuals with autism, ADHD, and other cognitive variations, a standard open office is an active threat to focus. The everyday sounds of overlapping conversations or the flicker of fluorescent lights triggers severe sensory overload and cognitive strain, exhausting them before the workday even begins. Historically, green building standards ignored the brain. Older certifications celebrated energy efficiency and prioritized wheelchair mobility, building a perfectly sustainable box that remained actively hostile to the minds working inside it. That changes with the LEED v5 certification. The creators of the world's leading green building rating system have introduced a core requirement: grading buildings based on neuro-inclusive design. Neuro-inclusive design is an architectural framework that deliberately plans for diverse neurological needs and sensory sensitivities. Architectural sustainability is incomplete if it fails to account for neurological diversity. A building that alienates a fifth of the workforce is a failed design. To fix this, architects have to dismantle the traditional one-size-fits-all open floor plan. We are moving towards environments defined by occupant agency, where people choose exactly how much stimulation they receive. This diagram illustrates the LEED v5 occupant experience credit, showing a monolithic open floor plan fragmenting into adaptable environments. Occupants can move between sensory levels based on cognitive needs. Within this credit is a mandate. Projects must provide at least one fully accessible quiet space. This quiet space is a functional necessity. It acts as a dedicated retreat for neurodivergent individuals to escape overlapping sounds and visual chaos, allowing their nervous systems to reset and refocus. Granting occupants agency over their spatial and acoustic boundaries transforms a building from a fixed obstacle into an active participant in their cognitive health. Once the physical space is separated, the standard tackles the processing of visual stimuli. Standard electric lighting glare causes immediate physiological and emotional disruptions for a neurodivergent brain. It triggers visual strain, headaches, and a spike in cortisol that derails concentration. LEED v5 defends against this by rewarding strict glare controls and requiring universally dimmable systems. You can finally turn down the brightness over your specific desk without affecting the light for the entire department. This chart compares the jagged, sharp spikes of standard office lighting changes against the smooth, gradual curve of circadian lighting. Circadian systems mimic the natural progression of daylight. By creating gradual transition zones, the building allows the nervous system to adjust without shock. Modern lighting design has evolved from basic illumination into a precision tool for active neurological regulation. The final frontier of the sensory environment involves the actual atmosphere and physical textures within the building itself. LEED v5 introduces the Integrated Biophilic Design Credit. Biophilic design is the practice of incorporating natural elements, organic textures, and vegetation directly into the modern architecture of the space. Direct exposure to natural elements actively reduces baseline sensory stress. The erratic patterns of wood grain or the gentle movement of water naturally calm the brain's threat detection centers, lowering heart rates and easing anxiety. The bureaucratic weight of this is significant. Under LEED v5, implementing biophilic design officially counts towards a project's accessibility and inclusion credit. Integrating nature into architecture is now empirically validated and graded as a core requirement for social health. It is no longer treated as an aesthetic luxury. When a project correctly integrates these isolated quiet zones, controlled transition lighting, and rich natural textures, the entire structure changes its relationship with the people inside. We are leaving behind the concept of buildings as static sensory obstacles that employees must simply endure. The new standard treats the building as an adaptive support system. Architects and urban planners are now pivoting toward a framework that treats neurological care as a core engineering requirement. Human sustainability is a biological and neurological metric. Saving electricity fails to meet the goal if the environment inside exhausts the occupant. The premier infrastructure of the future will be judged entirely by its ability to adapt to the diverse minds of the people inside it.